Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another How to Fish the Colorado River for Dummies Part 2, people. The first one got, you guys kind of liked that. You guys kind of let me know in the comments that this is something you guys do want to see. You guys supported it. I got a couple lashbacks from some of you guys, but personally, I don't care. I mean, this is just information that I'm literally, going out to the river, seeing it, and then relaying it to you guys. It might be a couple days late, so kind of keep that in mind, guys. Or I also said that I was going to do these videos maybe once a week, and I figured right now I think once every 2 weeks is good for right now, and then we'll kind of talk about the subscription thing later, like how I talked in the first one. But also, if you guys want to support the channel real quick, you guys can hit the links down below. And for those of you that have been supporting, thank you guys so much. It's really greatly appreciated, and I couldn't ask any more from you guys than what I have already. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about today's video, guys. Today's video, we're gonna try to keep it real simple but yet very effective for you guys, so that way when you guys go out, you guys can catch some freaking fishies. All right, so with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and talk about a couple things, mostly kind of try to stay specific to something. We're gonna be talking about structure, and we're gonna be talking about what baits you should be throwing, or what baits that I think are gonna catch you guys fish out there. So one of those baits actually, guys, is so no, let's go with structure first. Let's talk about structure. So when you guys pull up to the Colorado River, you get there and you're just like, oh, it looks amazing, and it does. Don't get me wrong, people. I love that place. It's my home. It just excites me when I pull up, and I want to fish every single little thing, okay? But like I said, you guys got to understand what the fish are doing right now. So right now, we're definitely in that spawn mode. We have a full moon. We did have a cold front the other day. I don't know, a couple days ago, where it just kind of got cold again. So that kind of, probably pulled the fish back up or back off if they're making beds. Because right now it's springtime. They're supposed to be spawning. They're supposed to be laying eggs. The full moon's coming in. We have some warm weather. It's going to be consistent. It's actually going to be getting a lot warmer. And I was actually recently fishing, and the water temperatures in backwaters was about 63 degrees. And that's the magic number that you want for fish to start spawning, We also found a couple that were 64 degrees, so by now I'm pretty sure those water temperatures are even a little bit higher, which means, top water is going to be coming into effect here very soon. But right now, key things that I think are important for what types of fishing you're doing, or what am I trying to say? So pretty much when I went out to the river this past weekend, the number one thing that I caught fish off of was flipping. A little creature bait with about, it just depends on if you're doing the current or not, but I have like a 1 ounce weight on there. You could probably get away with 3/4, a 3/0 flipping hook, and then a creature bait. Start flipping, and you just literally have to hit every single hole. I know that sounds crazy, like I don't want you guys sitting there, in one spot for like 10 minutes. Sometimes you have to. If it looks really good and you feel like in your gut, like, okay, this looks really good, we gotta flip this, then stay there, and try it out. But sometimes you guys can kind of figure out what the fish are biting and where they're biting. Like in this instance, I found that fish where a lot of them were, so you have dead toolies amongst the living ones that are inside the water, about 2-3 feet maybe, sometimes a lot more shallow than that, so from 0 to like 3 to 4 feet of water, I was catching fish flipping, and I was catching them underneath the toolies, underneath the dead toolies. So I was pretty much punching through those little slots, and then when I was when the bait was going down or coming up, that's when I was getting bit. I pump it up a couple times and I pull it out and hit the next hole. So I was trying to punch through that, grass mat, whatever, the algae little stuff that it was right there. If the river cane is hanging over, then that's what I was flipping. Sometimes you get to these little areas and you see these little dark holes. It's always good to flip inside the dark hole, but also, so you have a concave shape, coming down like this. So imagine you have a letter V right here, okay? And inside the letter V, right inside the middle part, that's where you have water, right? And then this is the cane, and this is the cane, okay? You're gonna wanna flip this part of the cane, the little point, and then this one as well. And the reason for that is because bass are ambush predators. They're gonna be sitting, hiding, and waiting. A lot of times when you throw your bait in there, in the middle, they come from those sides. And sometimes you throw your bait in there and they don't want to come out at all. So that's what I'm saying, is you got to hit those points as well. So that way, when your bait drops in, that's when they snatch it, and they don't have to do a whole lot of work. They just sit there, it drops, boom, they grab it, you rip them out. And so that's how I was catching a lot of fish. Was catching fish, everywhere, all over Yuma, flipping. And That's one of the #1 ways to even catch fish during the summer, guys. Like from here on out, that flipping bite's gonna get better, and it's just gonna, you're just gonna start catching a lot more bigger fish. You might catch some small ones, but that is a really fun way to catch fish here at the Colorado River. I say here, but I'm over here in Phoenix. So structure wise, I always look for toolies. I look for dead toolies, you know. I flip into the cane anywhere that I think a fish is, you know, just kicking it back there, especially if the water's lower. Then you're gonna be it kind of depends on the water low. If the water's lower, it kind of pulls them out a little bit, so they could be sitting more closer to the edge. Or if they're real tucked up inside, then I'm gonna try to get as far back in there as I can. That 10-pounder is always gonna be in that one spot that you're not gonna throw. So if you see that little spot, you probably should hit it. Kind of pick it apart, and then once you do pick it apart, you know, I feel like I was able to, then you just kind of cruise through the backwaters and you hit those little certain areas that look like the one you just caught a fish off of, and then you're gonna realize, oh man, they're just kind of sitting in this stuff. It's really cool. That's what we figured out, and we caught some pretty nice fish, I'm not gonna lie. And this was throughout the entire week, you know. Some backwaters are a little bit difficult right now. Sometimes you go back into them and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is tough. But a lot of times during this time of the year, during March, I'm not gonna lie, it's my probably least favorite month to fish of the entire year. Just because it's so on or off. Like, is it cold, is it hot, like what are the fish doing, are they pre-spawn, post-spawn, are they in spawn mode? It's annoying. Like it's really dramatic, you know, and I'm not a fan of it. Some backwaters that you go into, you're gonna go in, you're gonna start hitting the same structure, and you're gonna realize, you know, the fish aren't even here. These fish are probably doing something completely different. They're probably not even in here, which they probably are in there. You just don't know where they're at. They're not biting. So that's another thing. You guys want to go into backwaters, you want to try one real quick, and don't get discouraged. Like seriously, think about it like this. Like, all of them are different, and they're gonna offer a lot of different things. You know, some might have a rock inside the middle of the actual backwater, or some might have a deeper pool, you know. So it literally just depends. So if you hit one, you don't catch anything, go try the same technique in a different backwater, you know, and then see if you get bit there. You literally, it's like pond hopping here in the city, but you just do it in a backwater in a boat. So you just kind of go from boat to boat, place to place, and that's the best way you guys could do it. But try to keep in mind, like, try to remember where you're catching fish at. That's the most important, so that way you can apply it to the other areas. And if not, then you probably have to switch up baits or something, because this comes to my other bait right now that we did catch fish off of. They're following that swim bait, man. Skip in there or pitch in there or throw your swim bait or whatever you have, and it could be any soft body swim bait. They're following it out. The big mamas are coming out after it, and boom, they're slamming it, guys. So that's another bite that's actually gonna get a lot better as the warm weather progresses. You know, people like to throw frogs, they like to flip, you know, but I love swim baits. You just skip them right in there, and you're gonna start catching fish, man. There might be some big ones too, because some are gonna be in that post-spawn mode, where they've already laid their eggs, you know, they're kind of skinny, they want to eat, so that 10-pounder might be 6 pounds, you know. So just kind of be ready for that. Right now, like I said, right now it's real dramatic, so you're gonna have lots of types of different kinds of fish, and you're gonna have some on beds, you're gonna have some that have already spawned, you're gonna have some that maybe haven't even spawned yet or even thought about it. Seriously, just depends. Like I said, March is just that month where it's like, what is it doing? And that's something you have to figure out on your own, because I could give out information, but you guys go out there, you guys try it, and you guys aren't catching anything. That is on you. You got to go out and pond hop, like I said, because March right now, usually in the summertime, you can go into every backwater and catch fish. But right now you can go into every backwater and it's gonna be hit or miss. So that's my biggest thing. So is swim baits and flipping. It's like the #1 thing right now, at least for me. At least for me it is. And maybe for you it's throwing a Senko right alongside the edge. And don't get me wrong, that will probably get bit as well. I'm just not a fan of throwing Senko, so I'm not gonna tell you guys to go throw them, you know. So if you go to the Colorado River right now, take a flipping setup, get 65-pound braid, get some a 1-ounce tungsten weight, a 3/0 hook, and then you guys are gonna want to start flipping all the cover. And I mean, you guys can have your own special little bait, you know, whatever color it may be. The more different it is, the better, just because, you know, those fish haven't seen that bait, you know. If everyone's throwing the same color, they're just gonna get kind of used to it. Yeah, definitely go out, and I would definitely try flipping. I'd always have flipping set up, you know, with me when I go to the river. And then if you want, you could try the swim bait thing out. I'm not gonna say that one's hit or miss, because at that point you're gonna be looking for a little bit bigger of a bite, so a little bit bigger of a fish means it might take a little bit more time. But with that one, you're gonna want to parallel fish that swim bait all up in the toolies, all up in the cane, inside the pockets, outside of the pockets, over the toolies, inside the toolies. There's a lot of possibilities for that one, and I'll have a video coming out soon, guys, so that way you guys can physically see what I'm doing, so that way you guys aren't just like, oh, like he's talking out of his ass. But yeah, so structure wise, that's what I would fish. Bait wise, that's what I would throw right now, guys. And like I said, it's just gonna get warmer and it's just gonna keep getting better. So I'm gonna go out this week, we'll come up with another video to do, but right now it's flipping. That's the number one thing you probably catch fish on. You know, Senkos is also gonna work if you want to throw drop shots. And if you're finding beds, then you're probably gonna want a color of like some creature bait or even a stick bait that's just gonna stick out, so that way you can see the fish physically eat it. Like the color pink or white usually works real good. Usually I don't make fishing spawning videos just because I always miss it. It's always random, it's different, and honestly I'm not really a big fan of fishing the spawn. So I get a lot of people always asking me, is it on, like are they on beds? Like honestly, I don't know. Like, I mean, from what I've seen, yes, they're on beds, but not really, so I don't want to tell you yes. It's not in full post spawn mode yet, but it's there in some places. In other places the fish are just big, fat, and healthy. And I'd say flipping, you're gonna get bit the most. Buddy caught a 6-pounder, other buddy caught a 5, we got a 4, got another 4, another 3 pounds. So you can be, you know, possibly catching your personal best fish if you're just flipping in that cane. And don't be afraid to get in there. A lot of guys, you know, I see them just flipping the edges. Like, flip in there, bro. Like, get in those little deep pockets, get where you're afraid to throw, and just gotta be a little bit gentle, you know, pull it back out and then let it, you know, bob back down, just back and forth, and you might get that bite. But yeah, that's my number one tip for this time, especially if you guys are gonna go out within these next couple, you know, these next couple of weeks. Take a flipping stick, take a swim bait. I'd even possibly take a frog, you know. That full moon's right here. I don't really like fishing the full moon, but these next full days, these next, you know, after this week should be pretty freaking good. So yeah, that's my advice for you guys, is go out there, you know, give it a shot. I'd definitely do some flipping. You could probably throw some chatterbaits and spinner baits and get away with that as well. But flipping is pretty fun if you want to try it, and I'd say if you're looking for that bigger fish too, I'd definitely try that. Yeah, other than that, that's my advice for you guys. Everybody does it different, and like I said, this is me visually seeing what I saw, and now I'm just giving you the information. That's it. So I hope you guys can run with it. I know a lot of you guys are going to the river here soon. You guys keep telling me about it, and that's freaking awesome. Keep letting me know when you guys are gonna go. I'd say flipping. I'd go flipping. You probably gotta flip a lot, but once you find where they're at, golden, man. And also, like I said in my first video, keep track of the weather. We're always going to be talking about the weather and how it's affecting the fish, so that's pretty much every video. But yeah, fish on, peeps. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. And we got some cool news coming, so if it goes through, if it doesn't, then just disregard this. But other than that, fish on. I love you guys. Have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one.